The organization is where you define the sequence of units and modules and pages that will be in the course that you publish for your students. Let's take a look at all the controls that you have here. This is the default organization that is the templatized version that came with the new course that we just built, the new course package that we created. We'll start with the details. We'll change the title from default organization to the underlying course that we're building. And add a little bit of description. Labels are where you can redefine the names of the four major elements of a course: the sequence, the unit, the module, and the section. A sequence is a full capsule that is defined by the ability to move forward or backward with the page buttons. So think of it as maybe you might want to have the full course in a sequence, and then the ancillary instructor materials in another sequence. Where students can't reach them, or maybe an addendum or some other maybe extra problems. Unit and module, sometimes people would like to prefer using chapters and modules, or whatever your nomenclature is, and section, if you choose to use them, gives you the ability to further segment the taxonomy. Actions publish allows you to publish your course to the development server. This is not where you publish to the final production server for your students, but this is rather part of the development process. Copy is where you can create variants. So, for instance, I'm using Introduction to Biology for non-majors, but if I were to publish a course, Introduction to Biology for majors, where there were maybe 85% crossover, what I would do is I'd create the entire biology for non-majors and then copy it. And then I would remove in the copy the 15% that wasn't going to be used in the majors version, and I would replace it with new material that wasn't intended for the non-majors version but was intended for the majors version. And that way they didn't share the unique material, but the material that was intended for both would be contained in both versions, and if there were editing done in one, then the edits would propagate to the other. And that way you don't have to maintain edits in two places for the same material. And if you want to delete one of your organizations, you would do that here. Back to the content, you can change the names of your elements here. The sequence can be named to Unit 1, Module 1 Introduction. Let's go ahead and create a new module and call this new module Life. And this new module, of course, is going to include pages. So let's add a new page. Here we're reminded that learning objectives and skills are important. We'll go and learn about creating learning objectives and skills in a moment. Let's return to the organizations page and take a look at what we can do with the drag and drop feature. We can, as you can see, this affords us the ability to move pages and elements around within the course, and it renumbers them appropriately. So Module 2 has now been moved up into Unit 1 and has been renamed. Sorry, I moved Module 2 up into Unit 1, and it's now Module 1, and it's called Life. It didn't used to be Module 1, it was Module 2, but now it's Module 1. So it has been renamed on the, or renumbered on the fly based on where I have dragged it. So you can change your organization simply by dragging and dropping. You can add modules and pages with a click. If you've already created pages on the pages page here, or maybe you created them here but then removed them from the organization, but of course they remain, or maybe you created them in a different organization and want to add them, then you would add existing page. Same goes for assessments. You can add an existing assessment, or you can add a new assessment, and that gives you the ability to create the assessment on the fly. We'll talk about that in another video.